This was the artwork developed for the first unit of the fine arts class. For to develop it, I used a lot of references, which one of the key topics was nostalgia and maturity, and the contrast they have with each other. To do this, I used a bunch of references. One of this is Dismaland by Banksy. This concept of a distorted childhood, of a distorted childhood, and like the characters, and more especially in this case of this artwork, especially the places that we saw as a kid, like children figures, like sort of distorted in a way and changed. This can be seen in the playgrounds on top of every mountain, and the playground slash castle that is the main draw of the picture of the artwork. And there's also inspiration from Memorywhere, which is an exhibition made by Mike Kelly. But one of the artworks shows a landscape with various religious symbols on it, which is also used like first like in the like how I portray the landscape in the artwork, and how I like invert or distort symbols to give them a different meaning. So in this case, the meaning I'm trying to get, it's something to do with nostalgia, maturity, and like the protection of these nostalgic and children-like things. So every mountain, like every big mountain, has what you could see either as a face of an old man, or as a vagina. These are supposed to be symbols of not of maturity and purity. And also, these symbols of an old man or a vagina are also symbols of protection of childhood. And this is why the figure of the playground is on top of these mountains specifically. It is on top of the mountains because it shows like protection from these figures, of a protection from a protection towards like childhood ideas and the children itself in themselves. This artwork was very challenging to develop. To do so, I used pencils ranging from 4H to 6B. These pencils were mainly used to sketch out the whole artwork and the color part as well. But the variety of pencils, especially dark ones, were mainly used in the background to convey the shadows of the mountain, which emphasizes the feeling of maturity, since these shadows are mostly missing from the top of the mountains, also like shining a light on the playgrounds on top. Apart from this and the whole pencil used in background to portray shadows, there was also the use of colored pencils. Working like going back to the shadows for a second, it was very challenging to. There were many mountains and many details that had to be developed. Each mountain had to have a specific shadow, and like a new shadow, and portraying each shadow in a good way, in which it showed depth and quality was a very hard challenge. Apart from pencils and shadows, I also used colored pencils to portray the main draw of the artwork, which is the main castle or playground, as you can see. To develop this, I used a contrast of very light and dark colors in the castle to not only portray the child wonder, but also the maturity that comes within the mountain. There were a lot of challenges in this part as well, balancing the colors for it not to look too cluttered, but still grab the viewer's attention was definitely a challenge. The choice of colors and which color to pick for each part was challenging as well. But I believe that the end result is a good artwork that works and that portrays the feeling I was looking for it to portray.